we are Bell Canada Enterprises. I'm Miranda. This is McKinley, Mackenzie, Miranda, Stacy, and Kaylin. Today we're going to tell you about our company profile, as well as our industry environment and target market. We are Canada's largest communications company, with our headquarters in Verdun, Quebec, and under CEO Mirko Bisick. We have just under 5,200 employees underneath our three branches, Bell Wireless, Bell Wireline, and Bell Media. We've got 2,400 retail locations and 6,500 wireless hotspots spread across 7 provinces, but concentrated in the eastern and maritime provinces. I'm now going to pass it off to McKinley to talk about our marketing metrics.
Thanks, Miranda. The wireless market is huge in the telecommunications industry. It's also the most productive sector for Bell Canada, increasing 6% in 2016. With this wireless market, high-speed internet, and television, Bell brought in an operating revenue of $22.7 billion this past fiscal year. Although there was a slight decrease in net earnings, subscriptions are higher than ever, currently at 22 million. Moving on to social media. Bell is active on various social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and their most popular, Twitter. Twitter took off for us in 2011 when we launched our Bell Let's Talk campaign. Today, #BellLet'sTalk remains the #1 retweeted tweet in Twitter history. In 7 years, we have donated just over $867 million to the mental health in Canada. Next, I'll pass it on to Mackenzie to analyze the competitive market.
Thanks, McKinley. Currently, there are 3,428 registered telecommunications providers in Canada. Of this, 7 are incumbent local exchange carriers like ourselves. Although the market is quite saturated, there are 3 companies, including ourselves, that hold a 90% monopoly. Our 4-firm concentration ratio is 29% based on number of subscribers. As Miranda mentioned earlier, we have 3 segments, each of which face individual competition. Our wireless segment is the most competitive and faces the greatest threat. We compete with other large, small, and regional service providers in this industry. By maintaining a strong pricing model and offering a broad range of devices and services, we have maintained a top 2 placing in both revenues and subscribers. Our next segment, the wireline segment, faces competition in 2 ways. First, other companies like TELUS, Primus, and Allstream are offering similar services. As well, we face more non-traditional competition by substitute products. These substitute products are wireless, voice over IP, and even online chat platforms like iMessage. Our third segment is our media segment. This segment is split up into internet, television, and radio. Our internet segment faces competition from other high-speed internet providers like Rogers and Shaw. Our TV segment faces more non-traditional competition from over-the-top content providers like Netflix, as well as online channels such as CBC.ca. Our radio broadcasting segment faces competition from portable devices and online music downloading services. I will now pass it on to Miranda, who is going to talk about macro-environmental issues.
Thank you, Mackenzie. So in looking at our macro environment, one of the most important things we had to analyze was the regulations imposed on us. Most of our services are not price regulated, however, government agencies such as the CRTC, the ISED, and the Competition Bureau impose regulations on us that are in place to protect consumers, such as the ability to cancel your phone contract within 15 days of purchase. When looking at it from a competitive standpoint, we have many new and emerging competitors. Things such as tech substitutions, IT networks, and the recent regulatory decisions reduce barriers of entry into the industry, allowing competitors to gain market share with less investment. Some competitors even use our networks to sell their services. Lastly, looking at it from an economic standpoint, the economy has slowed down within the past year, resulting in consumers less willing to spend money on things such as wireless subscriptions. Next, I'll pass it on to Stacy for the market assessment.
Thank you, Miranda. For our market assessment, we will begin with the wireless market, which is currently at 85% penetration, showing that there is still room to grow even if that growth is slowing. This growth is driven by advancements in the LTE and LTE-A technologies, which provide faster service and greater connectivity, as well as by increased demand for smartphones. Next, we'll look at the wireline market. The wireline market is experiencing trends such as cord cutting of cable subscriptions and cancellations of residential phone lines. Furthermore, the trend of wireless homes, which grew 5% between 2016 and 2017, is further damaging the wireline market. Lastly is the media market, which is being indirectly negatively affected by over-the-top service providers such as Netflix, which is leading to symptoms such as cord cutting of cable as well as unbundling of TV subscriptions. These trends are leading advertisers to retreat from traditional media platforms, making it hard to generate a profit in this area. To conclude for this, the wireless sector is eating into some of the traditional market share of wireline and media markets. Next, I'll pass it off to Kaylin to discuss buyer characteristics.
Thanks, Stacey. So as for buyer characteristics, the main market we are targeting includes individuals who are currently with other service providers, as well as individuals who are new to the market. Geographically, consumer demand is most prominent in Eastern Canada in major cities within Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritime provinces. As for demographics, typically consumers are middle-class income-earning individuals who are of age to have their own electronic devices, such as students and working adults. As for the psychographics behind consumer demand, individuals are financially motivated and by monetary incentives, as well as competitive pricing, such as discounted student and family plans. Additionally, individuals are spending an increased amount of time on devices as well as online and tend to have more than one electronic device. 76% of Canadians own smartphones in 2017, and statistics show that 86% of mobile internet users are on their devices while watching TV. I will now pass it back to Stacey to conclude the presentation.
Thank you, Kaylin. So to conclude, we are one of Canada's big four telecommunications company operating in the wireless, wireline, and media markets. We face both traditional competition such as that from Shaw, Rogers, and TELUS, as well as new competition from over-the-top service providers such as Netflix. We face various macro-environmental issues, the most prominent of which being regulatory issues. For the most part, our wireless sector is taking over some of the legacy sectors such as wireline and media, and most of our customers are concentrated in the eastern provinces and Maritimes. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our presentation.